2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm going to be reviewing what some call the most reliably unreliable car, the Mazda RX-8. First, I'm going to give a little history about the car, and then we'll go for a tour, and then we'll go for a drive. Let's get started. The Mazda RX-8 began assembly in the Hiroshima Mazda plant in Japan in February of 2003. The RX-8 was the successor to the legendary Mazda RX-7 from the 90s that had the well-known 13B twin-turbo rotary engine. The RX-8's goal was to succeed the RX-7 as a rotary-powered performance vehicle while maintaining daily drivability. The RX-8 was the perfect choice for those seeking a small and capable yet powerful car from Mazda that can match the popularity and performance of its predecessors. The RX-8 ran production from 2002 to 2012, where it was discontinued in the S2 generation due to failure for meeting stricter emissions regulations. A few competitors for the RX-8 are the Nissan 350Z and the Mitsubishi Eclipse. Alright, now that we've gotten a bit of history out of the car, let's go for a tour, starting at the engine. Under the hood of the RX-8 sits a 13B Renesis 1.3 liter 2-rotor Wankel rotary engine, making 232 horsepower at 8250 RPM and 159 foot-pounds of torque at 5500 RPM. The red line for the 13B is limited to a whopping 9,000 RPMs and does 0 to 60 in about 6.4 seconds. This 2005 RX-8 is equipped with a 6-speed manual transmission, but it also did come in a 4-speed automatic for the 2004-2005 model year. So I wanted to point out a few things here about the RX-8 engine bay. First, take a look at the size of the engine. It's tiny. It only takes up room at the back of the engine bay, and most of the airbox here in the front takes up all the space. So the second thing I wanted to point out is underneath the headlights. So now you may think that these are radiators for the cooling system, but these two radiators, there's one on the other side, underneath the headlights are actually oil coolers for the RX-8's massive oil capacity. The RX-8 takes approximately 7.5 liters of oil, and about 4.5 sits in the oil pan, while the rest sits in the oil cooler and lines. Alright, now that we've seen the engine, let's go back and check out the trunk. Okay, here at the trunk of the RX-8, you get a good amount of room for a small sports car. The RX-8 has about 7.6 cubic feet of trunk space, and in comparison to its competitors, the 350Z has about 4.1 cubic feet, and the Eclipse has 15.7 due to its hatchback style. Unfortunately, there is no spare tire from the factory, but there is a plug kit in the back. However, you're able to get a spare tire kit from Mazda that sits right up here on top of the trunk, but it takes up a lot of already scarce space. Okay, now that we've gotten a tour of the trunk, let's go inside the car and check it out there. Alright, once you're inside the RX-8, things get comfortable pretty quickly. The bolstering on both front seats here provide a comfortable and tight driving experience, and the leather interior all around adds a touch of luxury on this touring trim. On the right here, you can access the AC and radio controls, and on the left, you can access your traction control and window mirror controls. The touring trim comes with a leather interior all around, heated seats, a sunroof up top, and a Bose sound system all around. On the center console here, you have a small ashtray up front with a power socket, obviously your shifter, your heated seat controls for the front, and then to access the cup holders, you just take this cover, slide it back, and then to access the storage cubby, you push the button down and hinge the cover up. A few more storage areas in the car include the glove box, of course, and then you have a cubby in each of the doors for the driver and the passenger. So that's about it for the front seat here. Let's go to the back and check out how comfortable it is back there. So the back of the RX-8 isn't really the roomiest. I don't have too much headroom, and I have a lot of legroom only because the seat is pushed all the way up, but it is comfortable enough for a short drive. So there is a storage cubby over here, like the front, and two cup holders here in the back. And then there's also a small cargo net here on the passenger seat. And then if you want even more storage space, you just crack this open, and you have direct access to the trunk as well as another small storage cubby. So the RX-8 doesn't have fold down seats, so this little entryway just allows a little bit more space to store things. Now that we've gotten a complete tour of the RX-8, it's time to go for a drive. But before that, I want to show you guys the Turbo XS catback exhaust that this thing has. Alright, beginning the drive, so let's start up the car. So starting the RX-8 will take longer than normal for a piston engine car due to the nature of the rotary engine. A good indicator that your RX-8 engine is healthy is how it starts up when it's hot. So a good engine should only take a few seconds to start at the max. Alright, being that peak torque is at 5,500 RPMs, you don't really have any torque on the low end. That being said, you really have to give the RX-8 some more revs to get it going from a stop than any other manual car. So some immediate driving impressions for the RX-8 is that it handles beautifully at high and low speed. The RX-8 is mid-engine rear-wheel drive and has almost a 50-50 weight distribution. That makes the car feel very balanced and there isn't too much weight on either end of the car. One thing that a lot of people love for the RX-8 is the extremely high redline. Like I said before, it has a redline of 9,000 RPM that is actually limited to 9,000 RPM. But there are people that have removed the limiters through tuning and modification to 10,000 RPM. Let's get a few pulls now to show the acceleration and the redline of the RX-8. That was pretty fun. So the great thing about this car is that since you have to rev it so high, you don't go that fast, so you can avoid a lot of tickets. But there are a few downsides to owning this car. You have to constantly monitor the oil and coolant levels as well as your temperatures, and the fact that it takes premium gas and gets you about 16 mpg and lower sometimes if you drive it hard, it's gonna rack up a lot of money in gas. But the great thing about this car is that you are supposed to rev it high and drive it hard to get rid of carbon deposits in the engine and keep it healthy. The RX-8 handles great on stock suspension, and with an upgraded suspension and brakes, it'd probably make it a great track car. The only worry that a lot of owners have about this car is that the motor and its internal seals tend to go bad anywhere between 30,000 and 80,000 miles. Unless the engine was recently rebuilt, there's always a risk in buying these cars. Aside from the biggest concern, the engine, the RX-8 has a whole list of maintenance items that needs to be monitored constantly. However, those are just maintenance and not repairs. As long as you keep up with the maintenance of the car, you get a whole lot of fun and memories as a return. In my ownership of this car, I found that I've had a lot of fun with it, but taking it out sometimes can be a headache. But the fun that I have in it will make up for any worries that I have. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, leave a like and consider subscribing. I really appreciate if you guys went and followed my Instagram too at @theblackbimmer. I want you guys to leave a comment down below on which Japanese sports car that you guys like. Thanks for watching.